everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Dusty Book Sniffers, and today we are here for a book haul. I know I'm supposed to be doing my Read What You Own challenge, and I sort of blew it a little bit when I was in Sydney, and this is the second time that I've blown it in as many weeks. So let's get started. Well, good morning or good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I talk a little bit about the books that I got in this past weekend. So in the past weekend, it was the Nango Markets where I live. They're like a farmer's market, but they have bric-a-brac and secondhand books and all that sort of stuff. And I met a lovely guy over there a couple of years back. His name is Bob, and I call him Bob the book pusher because I tell you, he is definitely a book pusher. He will pull books out. He remembers you, and he will pull books out and go, hey, I've got these, that, and the other. But what I do is I actually give him lists of stuff that I'm looking for. And all his books are $2 each. So it's really exciting that I can get some of these books and I don't have to pay a lot for them. So on the weekend, I went with Savannah and we went and had a look. He had 3 books for me. He had a couple of Joy Deman books for me, and he had Annie Prulix, I think is how you, but she also wrote I can't think what she wrote now. Anyway, I got he got a book, and it's off the Women's Prize for Fiction. So Brokeback Mountain is what she wrote, so I knew it'd come to me eventually. But anyway, there were a few other books there that I've been chasing as well. I don't give him my entire list, but I've got little lists that, you know, things like from the booker, there might be translated works that I'll grab and all that sort of stuff. So yes, anyway, I did a little bit of shopping. And when I say a little bit, I got 19 books, but it only cost me $38. So you can't go wrong with that. Now, I purchased a book not too long ago for $34, one book that was brand new when I was in Sydney. So this, to me, I don't mind being able to get a couple of books from my favourite authors and stuff like that. I know that I'm doing my Read What You Own challenge, but to be fair, I do read a lot of what I own on my shelf. So I'm not really, I'm just replacing some of the ones that I've read. And I know that that defeats the purpose. But yes, anyway, I know I'm a bad girl. I got some more books, but let's get into the pile that I've got here. So the first one is I got this actually to put on Savannah's shelf because she gets the orange penguin ones and she didn't have this one. So this is Mother Tongue by Bill Bryson. And I don't know what this one is about. So it's, yeah, so basically, let me just have a look. Bill Bryson's Mother Tongue is a hymn to the English language, examining how a second-rate mongrel tongue came to be. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So basically, it's talking about the slang, I guess, of, you know, because that's what I would assume mongrel tongue is. Bryson explores English from America to Australia and looks, among other things, swearing, spelling, and yeah, everything, even right down to Scrabble. No self-respecting English speaker should open his mouth without reading this first. So yeah, so I sort of got this. It'll be interesting to read. I think Savannah's going to really enjoy this because she is becoming an English teacher. So that is the first one. And I've scanned all these books and put them into my app. So they will be, you know, when I do the shake, rattle and roll, I'll be able to do them. Another one I got is The Talented Mrs Greenway. This is by T. Cooper. I will be reading a T. Cooper book off my TBR cart. And I've heard lots of good things about T. Cooper, so I definitely, whenever I see her books, I only pick them up secondhand, but whenever I see her books, I tend to grab them to put them on my shelf. So it's set in 1814, so historical fiction, and I believe that's pretty much all T. Cooper writes. And if you've been around for a while, you know that that is definitely my jam. So Mary Greenway has come from, I'm assuming, England, and she's ended up in Sydney town. She's got 3 children at her skirt. She has high hopes for a new beginning despite having little money and her husband in irons. After all, the sudden death of her sadistic first husband has meant freedom from the gilded cage, and Frances Greenway is an architect of some promise under the protection of Admiral Philip himself. And I'm just sort of going to stop there. She seems to be a woman of great resource and all that sort of stuff, so I'm happy with that. Because sometimes you can get a little bit spoiled. It's not very long, this book. It's probably coming in at about 300, and it's got some book club questions. It's 353 pages, and it was originally published, and this is like brand new. Like, it hasn't, like, I wouldn't even go as far as to say that it hasn't even been opened. They've just got it and got rid of it. And this was published in Australia in 2023. So, like a brand spanking new book for $2. Can't go wrong with that. The next one I've got is Amanda Prowse. Now, I read Amanda Prowse on Kindle Unlimited a couple of years back, and I really liked their writing and whatnot. So when I'm starting to keep an eye out for their books, and this one is My Husband's Wife. It's a #1 bestseller. She was divorced. She was a devoted wife and mother. Then her husband and children left home. How do you rebuild your life when you've got nothing left? So yeah, so I don't tend to read the back of these, but that's pretty much the gist of it. They're usually slice of life, domestic sort of books surrounded women trying to rebuild their life or something along those lines, or some sort of tragedy happens and whatnot. Very much not so much Danielle Steele, but a little bit more in depth than a Danielle Steele, but I get the same sort of feel as what I do with a Danielle Steele book. So I got that one. And remembering that these are all $2. And then I've seen this one. I've never heard of this author before, Amanda Girard, I think. The Moongate, A Hidden House, A Wartime Secret. This was bookpeople.org.au, our pick. And this author also wrote A Midnight House. Historical fiction set in 1939 at the backdrop of a Second World War with this. And it is set in England, I think. No, Tasmania, sorry. This one is on the eve of war. English heiress Grace Gray, that's a mouthful, travels to the wilderness of Tasmania, coaxed out of her shell by an Irish neighbour, Daniel. Grace finally learns to live, but when Daniel is called to the front line, he leaves behind a devastating secret which binds them together forever. And then it's also got a second timeline of 2004. Libby Andrews has never known the truth behind her father's death. When she travels to London and discovers a faded photograph of the mysterious house, Libby begins to follow the trail that he could never complete. In unlocking a long-buried memory, will she realize that some secrets are best left behind? So yeah, so that is the book there. Looked like I really enjoyed that. I did pick this one up. The cover drew me in. Anything that usually has moon in the title I will gravitate towards that immediately, because a lot of witchy titles have moon in it and all that sort of stuff. So it's a faded photograph, a mysterious house, and a wartime secret. Is basically what we've got in this book, and it's called Moongate. And I love the cover too. It's a beautiful cover. Like, that house looks awesome. I'd live there. The next one was this is called the Concise Chinese English Dictionary for Lovers. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of the author. I've seen this and I'm like, you know what, I need to have this. I like the title of it. It's not, even if I don't like it, it's fine. A Chinese girl adrift in London, an English man adrift in life, a whole dictionary of possible misunderstandings. So that's sort of what drew me into this, and I thought, ooh, it is a novel. But yeah, it's going to be, it's just like, it's set out like a dictionary, and then it goes on, and pronoun, and like, it just keeps going on with different things. And then it's got little blurbs underneath it. So I'm interested to read this. And this one, misunderstanding versus fail to understand properly. I want to see where you live, I say. You look in the eyes, be my guest. That's how it all started, from a misunderstanding. So that sounded really interesting. And I've lately been drawn to a lot of Chinese books that have been starting to come onto my radar and all the rest of it. And when I seen this, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to grab that. And I did grab another Chinese author. And this one is called Chinese Cinderella, A Secret Story of an Unwanted Daughter. This is by Adeline Yenma. And it's, actually have this author on my shelf already, Falling Leaves. So I think this is part 2 to that, possibly. And these, I believe, are, I can't remember whether these are non-fiction or not. It doesn't actually say. You know, sometimes on the back they tell you whether they're fiction or non-fiction, but it doesn't. So this one is When Adeline Yema's mother died, non-fiction. Giving birth to her, the family considered Adeline bad luck, and she was made to feel unwanted all her life. Chinese Cinderella is the story of her struggle for acceptance and how she overcame the odds to prove her worth. So yeah, and I believe Falling Leaves is about her mother. I will probably read those back to back, and I'll just, because they're both around about the same size. So when I seen that, I'm like, yep, that needs to be on my shelf because I already have the first one. So this is the first one that this is in a little bit of disrepair. So you can see I had a list and I've sent it to him, and Bob's found it, so he's put my name on it and then where I'm going to pick it up from. And so I was pretty happy about that. He did say, and like he will always send me a picture of the book and say, hey, I found it, it's in a bit of disrepair, and all that sort of stuff. I'll generally say to him, you know, flick it open, let me know what the pages look like. And he's like, yeah, the pages are fine, it's just, you know, this part here or the top of it or the cover might be a little bit damaged or whatever, but they're secondhand books, you know, they're getting a lease of life. So this is Accordion Crimes, and this is I believe this one I got, and I haven't pulled up my list today, so I'm sorry about that, but I'm pretty sure that this was on the Women's Prize for Fiction in 96 maybe. Let me just pause for a moment and I'll just have a look. Okay, so I just did a quick search. So this was 1997. This was on the Orange Prize for Fiction, which is now the Women's Prize for Fiction. So it is one that I was looking for that for 1997. So, and it just says here, no, the Accordion Crimes by Annie Prolix was not on the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. It was, however, shortlisted for the 1997 Orange Prize, which is now known as the Women's Prize for Fiction. The book was published in 1996, and the prize is awarded annually, which you already know because if you've been here for a while, you know that I do the Women's Prize for Fiction, but that's what it used to be called, which I didn't know that, but I just couldn't remember what year it was on. So it was shortlisted, so I'm on the mission to try and find as many books as I can, and so I've got Bob looking for them. I think I've given him the first 3 years of the because we've just gone to our 30th year. I'm pretty sure I've given him the first 3 years, so he's slowly but surely getting them. So I'm not too sure what this was about. As I said, I just got this one because it is on the Women's Prize and I want to collect it, and I'm reading the shortlist first. But I'm also sort of rethinking it and maybe just doing all of the books that were on it and just going for it and trying to incorporate as many as I can. This is a story of a greed 2-row button accordion. Its Sicilian maker has a vision of freedom and a future in La Murcia, I think it is, how you pronounce it. New Orleans brings an end to the musician's tale, but the accordion story is only the beginning. Out in the Midwest prairie, German farmers grind out music. The accordion's music sounds in the Cajun, I'm not too sure how to pronounce that, so I'm going to skip it, and in the lonely Chicago tenement. So yeah, I'm just going to stop there because it's actually got a little bit of spoilers and all that sort of stuff, and I'm going to be reading this pretty soon, so I won't forget what it's about. But as I said, $2, can't go wrong. It's one off the list. I can put it down here, and we know that that was on the women's prize. All right, these two here I got because I am getting all of the Sue Grafton books. These are crime books. That's the alphabet. This series will never be finished. It'll only go to Y. And all that sort of stuff. I've got several of them on my shelf, so it's a continuing series. And the other one that I got, Bob's wife loves Jodie Robb and has these books, so as she finishes them, I've been buying them. So I didn't have this one, so I got that as well. So that is, you probably can see, oh no, I'm sitting behind them. That's behind my chair. No, they're off camera. So let me just tilt it. You can see I've got a few Robs there. So yeah, so I'm collecting them, and then I'm going to sit down and read them. I believe they're still writing for those. Yeah. The other ones that I got from Bob is the Joy Deman books. So I got one, Henry's Daughter, that he didn't find for me because he thought that I might have already had it, but it was still there, so he sort of held it behind. So I got 3 Joy Deman books. Now, Joy Deman is has fast become one of my favourite authors, Australian authors. I first came across Joy Deman when Chrissy gave me a TBR to read, and I read The Pearl in the Cage, which is the Woody Creek series, and I'm still reading that. I've got all of those books down below. He also found some of those as well, but I've already got them, so I'm pretty sure I've got all of them now. And yeah, so I've been collecting them over time, and I find them in all different places. A majority of them I did find with Bob as well, but he managed to find me some more that I didn't have. So one of them was One Sunday, and this one is early one Sunday, the town of Molliston wakes up to the news of a young bride dead. The year is 1929. The Great War of Germany has been fought and won, but at the immense cost of the small community. Death too is too familiar here. So many sons were lost, so many daughters would never be wives, and so many grandchildren will never be born. Racial hatred is like a bushfire in the belly of some, and a dead girl is found only yards from the property of old Joe Reichenberg, a German. Tom Thompson is a local cop, lost his 2 sons in Gallipoli, and believed he had come to terms with his bereavement until that Sunday. Slowly, the true face of Molliston is exposed. By midnight, a full moon is offering its light and a glimmer of hope. So yeah, so Joy Deman is a wonderful storyteller. And I'm so glad that I got Bob to look for Joy Deman ones for me. So I believe I now have all of their books. I have to double check that, and I'll send a refreshed list to him. So I got that one. And the next one I got is Henry's Daughter. And I thought I had this one, but I don't. So I looked in my app, and it wasn't in my app, but when I scanned it, it said it was. But it definitely wasn't in my app, so I would take that I didn't have it. I checked my shelf, and I definitely didn't have it. So this one is like a coming of age. So Laurie Smythe Owen is balancing on the edge of adolescence. She has 11 brothers, 9 living at home, and the twins who live with Auntie Eva. Then the family life starts to unravel, and the Smythe Owen children try to save themselves, and in doing so discover that blood ties mean everything. So it's a bit of a family saga one. And how do I describe Joy Deman? Like with the Woody Creek series, like I'm so invested in that story, but it's like, it's slice of life stuff, but it's so compelling. And like sometimes you think, like, I've read nothing at all, but I can't put this book down. Like nothing's really happened. And in that series, we're following the one main protagonist, and it's essentially her life. And there's been the other ones that I've read of Joy Deman are very much the same as well. So this sounds like it's a really good one. And there's always some sort of like I find with her, it's definitely set in the outback of Australia, and she really is able to capture that sense of isolation and, you know, small town communities and all that sort of stuff. And that's what I really love about it, because I live in small town communities and I have done most of my life, and she's very on point. Of course, a lot of them are historical fiction and stuff like that. So, you know, I didn't live in the time, but not much has changed. Just saying. All right. So this one is called Goose Girl by Joy Deman as well. And this one, I don't know when this one was published, and I couldn't remember when I put this one on. This one came out in the year 2000. And again, it's Joy Deman, so I think that I'm going to enjoy it, because everything that I've read from this author, it's been top notch. Okay, so let's find out what it's about. She didn't know where she wanted to be, what she wanted to do, but she'd have to find out soon or her life would be over. Not in the normal sense of things. Just let me read a little bit further. Sally is almost 30. Surviving is what she does best. She survived an accident that killed her father and brothers, and her mother never forgave her for that. But she also survived her mother. Farmer Ross Bertman, who offers her his acres and safety, is the answer for a while, until he starts pushing for a wedding. So what Sally wants more than anything, she wants 1 year of freedom in the big bad city. Her survival skills are tested in the urban sprawl, and she discovers more about herself than she ever dared imagine. So it's again a survival story, because we know that the main protagonist is a survivalist, like wanting to survive her life. And yeah, that sounds pretty exciting, to be going to the city. I wonder what city she goes to, whether it's Sydney or Melbourne. I love it when I read things about Sydney, because I grew up in Sydney, so there's a lot of familiarity to that. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to this, because as you know, I'm focusing on my TBR cut, and then I've got a couple of readathons and all the rest of it. All right, I promise I'm nearly finished. All right, the next ones are Mary Higgins Clark. Now, I have only read one, maybe two of Mary Higgins Clark. These are in awesome condition. So I picked up 2 of them. They are usually slice of life. There might be a bit of thriller element to it, a romance, whatever the case may be. Okay, so the first one that I got, this one is actually 2 authors. It's Mary Higgins Clark and Alfara, anyway, that author there, Burke, all dressed in white. So this one is a missing bride, a killer on the loose. So it sounds like it's a little bit thrillery. 5 years ago, Amanda Pierce was excitedly preparing to marry her college sweetheart. She and Jeffrey had already battled through sickness and in health, and their lives were certainly richer rather than poorer, as Amanda was set to inherit her father's successful garment company. Then, the night of her bachelorette party, Amanda disappears. In the present day New York City, Laurie Moran knows a missing bride is a perfect cold case. Under suspicion Under Suspicion television series, I swear I can talk, and recreates the night of the disappearance with Amanda's friends and family. With Amanda's former fiance now married to a bridesmaid, a jealous sister, playboy groomsman, wow, and rumors about the beloved bride herself, Laurie and Under Suspicion host Alex Buckley quickly realize everyone has their own theory of why Amanda disappeared into thin air. So that sounds pretty exciting. I'm not sure where these are only about 300 pages, these books, and generally I curl up with something like this, especially these next books that I'm showing you, like this on a cold winter's night, and I just curl up and read in bed. The next one I got is I've Got My Eyes on You. This is a suspense, 1 party, 1 murder, no witnesses. All right, so this is an extraordinary new thriller from the Queen of Suspense and Mary Higgins Clark. 18-year-old Kerry Dowling is found fully dressed at the bottom of the family pool. She threw a party the night before while her parents were away. Her house was full of people, but no one saw anything. The police immediately suspect her boyfriend, with whom she had a bitter argument with at the party. But other people had a grudge against Kerry too, including her 20-year-old neighbour. Everyone knows he wanted to come to the party. Everyone knows how angry he was when Kerry didn't invite him. As the police search for answers, Kerry's older sister, Aline, maybe, decides to take matters into her own hands. But by trying to solve her sister's murder, Eileen may be putting herself and her life in danger. There you go. So that's the two Mary Higgins Clark, $2 each. This one has been opened. This one hasn't even had its been opened, so brand new. And I love that Bob gets those sort of books. And this is another one too that has not been opened. This one was published in 2021, and it is Flying Angels by Danielle Steele. I am collecting all the Danielle Steele books at the moment, and when I get them all, I'm going to basically read her entire catalogue, so you'll get to come along that journey with me. Danielle Steele was a book, an author that I read a lot of back in the day. When I say back in the day, when my kids were little, because they were short books, they were quick, you knew what you were getting, and I could read it in a couple of nights at bedtime. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do, is just spend at night an hour, or in the morning over breakfast or whatever. I used to do that as well. So yeah, I'm just collecting all the books at the moment. I've got quite a number of her books, and when I see them, I just grab them. I've not paid any more than $5 for a book, and they were brand new from my local newsagent and big box store down here, Big W, but most of them I have been getting from Bob the Booker. There was a whole heap there, but I sort of got to the Danielle Steele box last, so hopefully you'll have a lot more. And a lot of them I did recognize the titles, so I've already got them on my shelf. Right, the other books that we have got, I've got 3 more to go. All right, I've been getting the Candace Fox books again. This is an author that Chrissy put me on. That it's called Gathering Dark. I've read 3 of the books that I've got on my shelf. I think I've got 7 or 8 on there at the moment. So this is adding to the collection, and I will get to it. Crime fiction, it's a good read usually. And this one is, let me have a look. Blair Harbour, once a wealthy, respected surgeon in Los Angeles, is now an ex-con down on her luck. She's determined to keep her nose clean and win back the custody of her son. But when her former cellmate, Sneak Lawler, begs her for help to find her missing daughter, Blair is compelled to put her newfound freedom on the line, and joined by LA's most featured underworld figure, Ada Maverick. A crew of criminals bring outlaw tactics to search for a daily. And I'm going to just stop there, because then it goes on to talk about other things. So yeah, I don't like to read thrillers synopsis, because they inevitably give, the plot and everything away. So yeah. But Gathering Dark by Candace Fox is another one. Another one of my favourite authors as well is Paula Hawkins. She wrote Girl on a Train, Slow Fire Burning, and Into the Water. I've got them just down there. I'm just looking at them. Yeah, so we've got Girl on a Train, Slow Fire Burning, and Into the Water. And I've seen this one, and this is called The Blue Hour. So I grabbed this. I do not know what it is about. She no longer sleeps when the tide is out. She only rests when the sea separates her from the land. When she knows no one can sneak up on her. And that's all it says on the back. So yeah, so I like it that you get very vague synopses from the author. And yeah, so it says here, The Blue Hour, a dangerous time to be alone. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that. Love the cover too. So yeah, got that one there. And another one that I've seen a lot of people talk about. This was originally $30 and I got it for $2. It's a chunker of a book. This is The Bee Sting. This was shortlisted in 2023 for the Booker Prize. So I'm also starting to look at some of the Booker books That is such a mouthful. The Booker Prize books now, and when I see them secondhand, I'm just going to grab them and whatnot. So, but I've heard some good things. I've heard some bad things, but I've heard mostly good things about the bee sting. So I'm looking forward to it. There's not really a blurb on the back. It just says generous, immersive, sharp-witted, and devastating. The sort of novel that becomes a friend for life. I can't be overstated how purely pleasurable The Bee Sting is to read. A 650-page slab of compulsive high-grade entertainment. And it just goes on. And I can't see where there's a synopsis. Is it in the back cover? No, here it is. So it just says here, the Barnes family is in trouble. Dickie's once lucrative car business is going under. But rather than face the music, he's spending his days in the woods building an apocalypse proof bunker with the renegade handyman. His wife Imelda is selling off her jewelry on eBay and half-heartedly dodging the attention of fast-talking cattle farmer Big Mike. While their teenage daughter Cass, formerly top of her class, seems determined to binge drink her way into the final exams, and 12-year-old PJ in debt to the local sociopath Moran is putting the final touches to his grand plan to run away from home. So it sounds like a bit of a family saga book, but it sounds like a bit of an interesting book as well. But I picked this up purely because it's $2. It was originally $30. It has not looked like it's been opened or anything. It doesn't even have the telltale crack down here or anything. And it's in pretty good condition. I'm like, hey, it needs to be on my shelf. All right, so that is it today. That is my Bob the Book Pusher haul from the Nango Markets. I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know in the comments down below, have you read any of these books at all? Don't give me any spoilers or anything like that. Just let me know what books you've read and were they a yay or nay from you, because I'd really like to know that. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon to all notifications, then that way you're not going to miss out on a thing. While you're down there, hop, skip, and a jump over to the like button and give me a thumbs up, because that helps me get seen in the algorithm and help my channel grow. And as always, keep turning the pages, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.